is up? Welcome back to another Trade Alts technical analysis. I just wanted to do a really quick video today, but this one's going to be on BNB versus Bitcoin. So it's Binance Coin versus Bitcoin. I did just post on Twitter. This chart. So I said BNB versus Bitcoin looks really nice on this breakout. If you're able to clear the R1 weekly pivot and send, you're basically, I'm looking at 0.014 as my next target. And the key level on this chart is really important support for the time being. So I kind of wanted to break that down for everybody because obviously it's a little bit harder to do that on Twitter, but I figured I would jump on here and record a really quick video, kind of what I was talking about, what I was seeing. So this is a 6-hour chart, which I do, as far as using it for Ichimoku, I really do like the 6-hour chart quite a bit. And as you can see, it's got this trend really nicely. And really, when it comes to Ichimoku, one of the things that I kind of look for is, if there's a specific time frame that it's respecting, if it's respecting the price really well, typically like that's the time frame that you want to look to trade. And in this, you got your entry way back here. I mean, this is a pretty clear-cut entry. If I zoom in, kind of see you got your bullish TK cross. This is a clear breakout signal right here. Came back to retest your Tenkan and you're off to the races. So like this was a very clear-cut entry back here in March. Just to give you an idea of like when you could have entered this move. I've been in BNB for quite a while. Like I actually been in BNB since $17, but that's that was quite a while ago. It's just one of the bags that I hold on to, one of my HODL bags. So I don't really trade this one too often, to be honest. But this is, considering this is a technical analysis channel, I did want to break this down for you. And again, I was, really nice entry here. But more importantly, like if you didn't catch that entry, you got a really nice opportunity right here. So when you came back, basically got your equilibrium test here right around 0.008, gave you a really nice entry to jump in. And then you got this spike up to kind of where we spent some time consolidating around here. So as far as this breakout goes, I mentioned this R1 weekly pivot is pretty, that's your resistance for the time being. If you clear that, I do think BNB has enough strength to, continue to push up to the 0.014 target that I had mentioned in my tweet. But you do need to clear this area first and foremost. You can see you spent quite a bit of time. Not that much time, but you spent enough time kind of consolidating under here, this red zone right here, this red box of resistance before you're getting your breakout. You haven't come back to test it yet. So that is something that kind of, if we kind of struggle a bit more around here, if we do come back down to test this zone, it really makes for a nice, easy to manage trade in my opinion, because in my opinion, if this key level is lost, and you gain acceptance back below the key level, then that's your sign, to exit the trade. Now, obviously, we're still very much bullish on this time frame when you're looking at Ichimoku, so that that wouldn't necessarily that wouldn't be an exit as far as Ichimoku goes. But as far as level to level trading, it would be this would likely be your sign to get back out or get out of the trade if you again, if you come back down. You test this former resistance. Now you're hoping that it's support. If it holds, it could give you a really nice risk reward entry. So kind of like what level, so when you lose this key level, if that does happen, I know one of the things that I like to see when I see this consolidation zone here, I like to pull a fixed range, which helps give me an idea of where the levels are. So I would just actually do the entire thing. So here's your point of control. So this is the level you really don't want to lose. So if I turned off Ichimoku, okay, again, this is very much bullish though on the 6 hours. So this is really nice looking chart. And I'm just, as far as I'm concerned, if you're trading strictly Ichimoku, your stop loss is at least below Kijun. So that's like, this doesn't really apply. So like if you had your entry here and you rolled it all the way up, your stop loss very likely would have been probably below Kijun, or if you're using fractals, you probably got taken out, which is something that I'll be covering in the future. But, depending like how you trade, or this could have been a re-entry, whatever it is, this is a really nice looking chart. But if I turn this off and just really stick to level trading, which I really like to do, this key level is very important. And then you have your point of control of this piece of price action right here. You definitely don't want to lose that. If you lose that, then you know, BNB very well could be headed much lower. Another pull that I'd like to do is actually here. So it's this entire piece of price action. Basically, once you got this big spike up, and then you kind of started to form your sideways, you know, your sideways range here. You kind of had, you know, it's kind of you came back to the top of the range and then formed this consolidation here. But you can see the point of control basically doesn't change. You put it back, it's sitting here at 0.0, slightly above 0.01. You pull it back all the way to here, it's the same, right? Basically 0.01. So like it doesn't change. This tells you that this level is very important. So if this key level is lost, it's really losing this point of control here of this entire piece of price action. That would be a really, you know, a pretty big signal to me. If this is lost, then you could be coming back all the way down to like around this S1 weekly pivot, the value area low here, which is around 0.08. Like that's a pretty decent drop. So like even just from the point of control, you know, that's a 14% drop. Or if you took it from this key level, you know, it's about 14 to 15% to the downside, like if this area is lost. But as it looks, BNB looks really good. You know, again, I want to kind of see it clear this R1 weekly pivot here in order to continue higher. So where did I get the 0.014 target? So that's what I'm going to go over right now. To go back to like a daily time frame here. So there's two fib extension pulls that I use to get this target, to find confluence zones. Okay. And it was, so basically the 25th of March, which started this really big move to the upside. And I mean, if you just measure this from wick low to wick high, you know, 136% move, which was a really nice run for BNB. And again, this is versus Bitcoin. So this was quite the move here before you got your pullback, and then, you know, price continue higher. So you have your swing low, your swing high, and then your swing low here. Okay. So this is your low to high to low. That gives you a target of 0.014. So this is a one-to-one extension essentially of this piece of price action. So a second pull that I did was from this low right here. So the third point of the first pull. So this becomes 0.1 of the second pull, up to this swing high, down to this swing low. The one-to-one on that pull, which is 0.012. So I mean, if price does come back, you know, come up through here, this could be a resistance area. I don't think it's really going to stop price though, to be honest with you. Maybe it does for a little bit, but I do look for it to come up to this level. So you can see this red box up here, and the 1.618 fib extension of the second pull, the one that I'm kind of circling here, is very close to the one-to-one extension of the larger first pull. Okay. So this is the first pull. And then you have your R3 weekly pivot. So these are three forms of confluence right here that's telling you that this area is likely to be an important area if BNB is able to make it up here. So this is where I got the 0.014 target. Obviously, you know, we only have a couple days left in the week. We're over halfway through with the week. But, and so that means like this weekly pivot level is going to change. But the fact that this lines up here, you know, it definitely is a form of confluence for me. And, you know, so we'll kind of have to see how the weekly pivots change. We're going to get new monthly pivots. We're going to get new monthly pivots tomorrow, actually. So that will be interesting to see. If you turn on monthly pivots, you can see that BNB just completely has blown it out. Like your R5 is sitting, you know, which is kind of, it actually ended up, you bust through your R5 and you come back and base it, use it as support before you have another move to the upside. So we're going to get a completely new set of monthly pivots at monthly close tomorrow. So that is definitely one to watch. And I'd like to kind of come back and update this chart to see if there's, you know, where do the pivots line up for the monthly pivot, to see like, is it in this general area? So anyway, I just wanted to go through and kind of talk to you a bit. Again, I'll go back to the original chart that I posted just so you can kind of see. I just wanted to go through really quickly how I got those levels, why I thought that BNB versus Bitcoin looks pretty good here. And I guess I'm going to turn on again, just to turn back on the weekly pivots real quick. Clear this, clear your R1 weekly. I think you obviously are going to push higher. I really do think 0.014 is, you know, I think that is a pretty good target to the upside. And that would put you from where price is currently sitting, you know, you're looking around 25% move to the upside. So that's a pretty nice move if, you know, that I'm kind of looking for if we do clear this pivot. If we come back to test this as support, totally fine. In fact, like I said, I think it could offer a really nice trade, to be honest, because your invalidation, for me at least, would have been that point of control pull that I did. Like that would be a very, losing that point of control for the range would be a really important, you know, that would be a pretty big level lost in my opinion. And then we could look for moves, you know, further south. But as it stands, BNB looks pretty good. We'll see how it goes. But that being said, take care, everybody. We'll see you on the next one. Trade safe out there.